Alright, just recorded a not very good session for me and talked a bit about what I think the etiquette is on rematches. Hopefully I play a bit better this session. I don't really know what went wrong last session. Everything. All my moves. The moves I made went wrong. The moves my opponents made went much better. Let's go for kind of semi-Slav type line, or Slav. Probably look to take on c4. Let's play it in a Slav style. And now we remember, I do not play the Slav. I don't see why I shouldn't be able to get my bishop out of the pawn chain, though, before I play e6. Maybe there's knight h4 reasons? Okay, against this, I don't see why not. Ah, interesting. Okay. Bishop b4 looks like a useful move. When they've played a4, my tendency is the b4 square is now available. I think I'm actually supposed to take on e4 there. Bishop e4, fe4, knight e4, I think is a whole thing. Not familiar with it. Should have thought more. Does c5 do anything? Let's try it. I am threatening to take. But yeah, I think this is a piece sack variation. Ooh, yeah, that is a problem. Alright. Okay. This session not starting better than the last one. I could also block, but then after dc5, they have so much pressure against d7. If they take on g6, I'm delighted to play hc6. I think my king is pretty good, and my rook will be on the file in those lines. Alright, I guess I'll take the opportunity to trade queens and not be down a pawn. Should be looking to play a6 soon, so my knight can come out. Maybe I'm just being very optimistic here, but I don't hate my position. And I think I should. So I'm not sure what happened that made it not so bad. This bishop is a very bad piece. And that cannot really be understated. But also, I'm starting to free myself a bit. If I play f6 and e5, the bishop can swing back in. I can take and play knight c5, and this comes with tempo, which gives me more time to play f6. I probably don't want e5, because that surrenders this square, but bishop f7 starts looking better. Then maybe contest the d-file. It's a fight to equalize, but it seems a fight that's not necessarily lost. Is b4 going to be a problem? My knight does not have squares. Alright, so I think I want to contest the rook really quick before they double rooks. Because I don't want b4 to come when I have to play like knight d7 and they have rook takes d7 because they've doubled rooks. Okay. Bishop f7 or bishop e8. Is there any point to bishop e8? Could swing to like c6, which might be useful someday. I think f7 though, because I think I want to play e5, and if knight d5, I just want to be able to take it. I still think I want it. I'm that excited about e5. f4 was an interesting move. They clearly saw what I wanted in the position. But I think the knight now has these potentially really nice squares down the road. The one problem is I can't allow knight d5, so I can't get my knight there. So maybe bishop c4. I kind of like that move, because now my bishop is not going to be behind my knight if I want to swing it to one of the squares. And I'm definitely looking to figure out how to improve my knight. Rook d8 might have been possible as well. Okay, so knight e6 is now met by bishop g4. So maybe I want to move my rook, and this looks like the best file for it. They might have knight d5 check at some point. Bishop takes, rook takes. Knight d7, bishop g4. Could definitely be a problem. I think I need to keep my bishop so I can contest d5. If my knight gets to these squares, their bishop can't contest them. But my bishop can contest their knight's outposts. So I'm going to try to keep it able to do so. Right. I'll take that. Does rook d5 win my pawn? Oops. Pretty close it does. Rook d6 is really annoying because bishop g4 is coming. Maybe I can play king e7. If rook d5, it's a draw, if they want to repeat. They can choose not to repeat. I don't have rook b8 because of bishop a6. Huh. Alright, knight d8. Try to play rook f6 next. Maybe bring my rook to d4. That looks like a potentially nice square. If they ever play like rook c3, I play knight c6. Have to play much faster, so I'm going to perhaps move into bullet mode here. Gonna try to put my pawns on dark squares. I don't think it's a particularly good strategy, but it makes playing this position a little easier. Gonna now shuttle back and forth between c6 and d6. Oop, that hangs a pawn. Alright, now maybe knight c6 is checkmate. Knight f7. Ah! Snuck out of that one. Alright. Very lucky win. Would have given a rematch if they wanted one, because, you know, they had a very good position. They were probably winning. Right, open Sicilian. Someday I'll play the check over on stream. That's queen takes d4. Let's go bishop g5. Let's get exciting. Really hope they don't play the poison pawn. Phew. Like playing against the main line. Ooh. Not as familiar with the early h6. Right. Supposed to play f takes g5. They play knight d7. And now it gets real complicated. So in some order, I play like queen h5, g6. I play bishop b5 to sack the bishop. Okay, so knight e6 and bishop b5 are coming. What's the order? Start with knight e6, queen h5 check, bishop b5. And the idea is to castle really quick, and the bishop can potentially cut off squares. Now, I guess castles, they're playing quick, so they probably know this much better than I do, because I do not. And now, how do I do anything? They have e5 covered. If I play bishop g3, they play hg5, and my queen's hit. Gh6, rook h6, bishop b7, queen e7. What's my next move? I don't know. Ah, the bishop's hanging. I just don't know the theory. G6, bishop h4, I feel like is a thing, but I don't see why, because I don't see where my entry is against this knight on e5. So I'm going to play bishop g3, threatening bishop e5 and something to f7. Alright. Once again, they appear to know what they're doing, and I do not. It makes this very hard, because this is very tactical and specific. I kind of want to play rook f6, so I'm going to give it a go. There's no more hg5, so my queen's not in trouble, but I have to save my bishop. And that's annoying. So maybe bishop d3, try to play e5. They can probably play e5 or maybe knight e5. But knight e5, bishop e5, d5, queen f7 is checkmate, so they cannot do that. They can maybe play e5 themselves. I'll probably play rook f1. Do I want to play rook f1 now? Rook f1, queen g5, rook f7. Ah, this is very complicated for a 3-minute game. Alright, I'm going to play e5. Pin their knight. They'll play queen g5, I think. I will come back. Knight's pinned. Maybe threatening rook f1 to f6. Maybe knight e4 to f6. It's also in the air. Very complicated. And again, they clearly know some theory. And I clearly don't, making this, you know, a tough one. I know Karyakin allowed this line recently as black and found a pretty easy draw. I believe this line was originally played a bunch in like maybe the 40s, 50s. Maybe I'm not sure who. But I feel like there was an Argentina-Russia match where someone like maybe Paul Keres, but someone found this kind of bishop b5 refutation idea that was thought to be the refutation, and maybe isn't in actuality, but was thought for a long time to be the refutation. And they played it on one of the boards. Ooh, interesting. Alright, I don't want to give them e5 with a knight, so I'm going to take what's a potential defender of it. Because now if they play knight e5, I just take because this defender's pinned. Still threatening maybe knight e4 somewhere. Fair enough. Okay, I want to keep things pinned, so I'm going to just try to activate more pieces. I probably shouldn't be talking about history as I'm trying to play this well still. Haven't given up on the game. I kind of want knight e4 to f6. Not actually sure it does anything. d7 though. Rook d8, queen e4 maybe, though I really want my knight there. So maybe I'll play something like queen e2 there. Okay, my king's not bad on h1. Now they don't have rook d8. Okay. Still probably want knight e4 at some point. Just because I have to start activating pieces. I'm threatening bishop d6. I didn't see that. Okay, they stopped that. Let's keep the queen on. Maybe c3 next. Okay, I don't see the problem. Maybe knight d6, depending where their queen goes. Pester. Try to get it on d6. I blundered everything. Alright, fair enough. Nicely played. Okay, I want to look at the analysis board on that one, because this is some theory. It's called the Polygaevsky, I think. Anyways, the story I was telling was someone found this bishop b5 move. You can see it's the most played move. The black scores well here, so clearly black players are prepped and white players have just kind of been told about bishop b5 and don't really know it. But one of the, I think, Russian players played bishop b5, possibly Paul Curious, because it was the Soviet Union, so I should say one of the Soviet players. And all the other players were playing it as black on the other team. And so just on board after board, everyone followed what the first person to find bishop b5 played, and they just wiped the other team. King g7. So I should check not just what's played online, but let's switch to the master's database, put on the computer. Alright, castles. Knight e5. Bishop g3. Knight g6. You'll see the computer evals are all over the place, because this is real complicated. And gh6. Ah, yes, I have seen this. gh6, rook h6, rook f7, and then the queen takes, and then the other rook's coming over. Yes, I have seen this. So I played rook f6, which is terrible and losing. It's interesting king h7's... nope, king h7's not so good. Ooh! So I played bishop d3 with the idea of e5, but e5 first is more forceful. Because if a takes b5, I guess the knight swinging to g5 is just really strong, because g6 is going to be so loose if the king's driven away. Did not see this. So now I have e5. My position's magically good. Knight e4, did not consider that with knight f6 grabbing the queen. Okay, the eval switches again. What a complicated game. Here I should have gone for knight e4 to take on d6 with the knight. I was thinking so much about f6, I didn't see d6. Man, complicated game. So I took on d6. Every move, the eval's just massively switching. Now I'm winning again. Played rook f1. Knight takes d3. Queen takes d3. Rook g8. I didn't see better than d7, but apparently knight e4 is now just crushing. I guess knight f6 is now just way open. Yeah, the rook's silly on g8. So I blew that. Oh man, it's so complicated. So now I'm in trouble again. Now I'm okay again. Did not think about leaving the back rank. That seemed terrifying to me, but I guess the queen does defend f1. Avoided a queen trade. Apparently that was wrong. They had queen takes e4 with the same back rank thing I fell for later, and now I fell for the back rank. Alright, interesting game. I hope that was interesting for viewers. Why is my search like that? What is that? Alright, my search... Weird search. Okay, let's get my search right. Casual, too. I did play a casual game with weird time control, I think, against a friend. Let's play the Sicilian. I wanted to get more Petrovs in. Okay, let's go, I hope, for a Najdorf, because those are always, to me, fascinating. And we just got an interesting Najdorf. Okay, I play knight bd7, not e6, though I could have tried to copy what the last opponent just did against me. With queen a5, and the idea is to play e5 without being in a pin on f6. If knight b3, I just play queen c7, and I claim that your knight is misplaced, and now e5 comes better because you never have knight f5, which is the most active place to put the knight in response. So my claim is I've blocked the center, and I can now start queenside operations. Bishop b7, rook c8, b4, some order. The knight is really good on e5. If they let me stick a knight on e5, I should probably take the chance. And now, I guess bishop e7. Just making sure they can't double my f-pawns. I can take it. Feel like I should take it. Do I want to take it and leave it, though, or take it twice? Because they're going to play bishop b5 check at the end and regain. Right, I'm going to take it with the bishop. And now... maybe h6. I feel my bishop's really good on f6. And if they play bishop f4, I have knight h5. And if I can trade this bishop off, then my knight becomes potentially really good, because they don't have a way to contest that knight. So we're going to give it a blue circle. Yeah. So there's oftentimes when black sacks a pawn with the e4 just to open up this diagonal in the Najdorf. So I feel this has to be pretty good. So they might be thinking about rook f6. I don't think I'm too concerned. So I'm going to keep playing active. A little worried about knight d4 to f5 or c6. I think that is their best plan. But in this position, I have knight d3 in response, maybe? Yeah, because they have to take back queen d3 or c2 hangs, and then I can play bishop d4, and they can't retake back because of here. Alright. Now maybe knight d4? Nope. Okay. I think the rook on d8 is okay. But knight d4 and queen g7 might be forceful, because queen g7, king e7, knight d4, and knight c6 is kind of a threat. But my knight does... ooh, might not defend it. Okay. This can be scary. So maybe I want to stop the queen's invasion. Because if the queen can't invade, knight c6, I can just take it, I think. Okay. That makes sense. No. So king g7, queen g3, knight g6 I was thinking, but bishop takes, f takes, knight e6 forks my king and queen, and rook, but that's less important. Therefore, do I have to play something like queen e7? Ooh. Alright, I'm getting quite tied down. I definitely had a nice position, and I definitely have had trouble dealing with this, this rook f6 idea. Huh. So knight c6 is coming. I don't have knight d3 because the queen defends. Knight g6 doesn't work because their queen defends. I guess I'm going to give a queen. No, I'm not going to give a queen. Alright, well now I can try to free myself. I'm 18 seconds, oh god. Played too slow again. Just spend too much time thinking. And not finding anything. Let's swing the knight to c4, it just seems a good square. Why? I don't know. e5 is a good square. Why am I not sitting on e5? Maybe come to g4 f3 someday? Alright, let's give a pawn to try to open things up for my rooks. Don't even know if I have a threat, but... and I can't even play king f7, this doesn't prepare that. So maybe rook f4 to f2 is my idea? To try to get my rook in and then play king f7? Try to regain on f6? Because king f7 now is met by knight h6. And I probably shouldn't draw arrows because I will have to move quickly. Let's play king f7. Their idea was bishop f5, missed it. They can play a rook e5, maybe? No, d5, bishop d7, king g7. No idea what's happening in that endgame. Okay, gotta take. Okay. Yeah. Too slow. Interesting one, though. As always, when I play this queen a5 line, I think I get just great positions out of the opening. Does e5 happen not to be good here? Really wants e6. I don't understand. E5, and after queen f3, the computer's very happy, but it thinks I should throw an h6. So one useful thing about h6, okay, it's varying what it thinks, but one useful thing about h6 is bishop h4. When I take on f4, if they take back, they get hit by g5. So it kind of forces white to capture. So I can go for this. You'll notice white is up a lot of turns of development, but black gets the two bishops. So h6 is interesting. Bishop e7 I usually try to delay, because then this knight moving might have potential problems. Apparently here it's better, I don't quite know why. So I played b5, and now they should castle kingside. When they castle queenside, though, now I thought I had a good position. Apparently I maybe still should insert h6, but bishop b7. I thought the knight was good on e5, I feel good about that decision. Queen g3. Now maybe I should hit with b4 immediately, but maybe bishop e7 as well. Okay. Bishop e7, knight d5. And I did not find the way here. Okay, there's a clear path, though. Is there? Computer's thinking. Alright, whatever the path is, bishop d5 was not the right choice. So let's follow the path. Knight d3, rook d3. If queen d3, then I take on d5, and if the typical trick where it defends the piece and their bishop's attacked, so they can't take back that way, they can't take back c, so they have to take back rook. Now, bishop d5, apparently, so I had the right instinct of which piece to take with. But what's the justification? Knight e4 at the end. Yeah, didn't see that. So they have to play bishop f6. And then I don't play bishop f6. I can insert right bishop b3 with the mate threat on c2. Ooh, rook c3. I block. This does get complicated. And this position is apparently still complicated. Okay. So I missed complicated ideas, certainly. Bishop takes d5, e takes d5. There was also a knight takes d5, which the computer is liking. E d5, take, queen takes. Am I just playing queen e7? No. I'm just castling. Yeah, my knight's so good and I've removed a defender. And if I get my king safe, these knight d4 ideas don't hit near as hard. I'm on d5. Yeah, no, I like that. I should have just taken knight. I was just worried about opening up stuff here and here. I was wrong. Alright, we have fallen under 2350, which is a shame. I think I'm 1 for 3 this video, so have not turned it around from last time. Can we get a win on the board? Not even sure what I am. Been doing best with the Spanish 4 knights of the stuff I've been playing, so I'm going to stick with it. Here I can play knight takes e5 in the fork trick. I like to insert castles first, because I think d6 is not good for black, because I can immediately strike in the center with their knight pinned. Now I have big threats on c6. They can take there, and they give up the 2 bishops for, like, I don't know, not much. Where do I want my queen, though? This is a question. I can take on c6, but I think their doubled pawns are fine. I guess I'll come back to d3. Let my bishop come out. Maybe my queen can swing over. I thought this was okay for me, but this does make sense for them. Gonna make sure I keep my bishops for now, at least. I think moves like rook e8. Oh, that makes sense. Guess I gotta make a potentially weakening move. Bishop g5, bishop e3. Maybe just bishop b3. Yeah. Let's make sure queen b6 can't grab b2. Let's prevent their expansion. still not sure where my bishop belongs. It could be f4 as well, because the d6 pawn's potentially pretty weak. Yeah, let's start with bishop f4. Also, the bishop's a little less chaseable there. Try to play like rook d1 and say this is the key weakness in the position. It's not obvious that black can defend it so well. Also, bishop f4 does a nice job of preventing d5, freeing them with a weakness because I open up on e5. I don't get it. I'm not afraid of ghosts. Or I try not to be. If queen b6, bishop e3. Now, they might want to be playing d5. Like if bishop e3, d5, and they're trying to open up here. So I like the look of bishop g3, with the point that my knight can come to c7 and I'm still on d6. Ah, I've been tacticked. Queen c4 though. Oh, I can't really take on f7, they just move and then they really do threaten queen b6 takes b5. So on knight takes g3, I think I just have to take back. And then their position looks okay. So I have been properly tacticked. I couldn't take f because of bishop e2, and if I took with my queen, of course they take my queen. So I'm just going to take back. Keep an eye on f7. I sort of threatened g4, though it could leave my king very vulnerable. Alright, so I need to avoid queen b6 takes b5. Queen d5 actually looks pretty stable, though. We'll start with queen d5. I'd like to play knight d4 next, because my knight's vulnerable on its square, and I think it would be better centralized. Now it comes with tempo. Presumably they had schemes around my king with rook g or h6. But my knight's good here. I play knight f5. Maybe g4 next, solidifying the knight. Ah, am I getting mated? Ugh. Okay, rook f2. Hold on. Now they can't play rook g6 because of knight e7 though, because the queen no longer defends. So rook f6. I don't really want to go g4. Maybe I should have played queen d4 last turn. Let's try it this turn. Another complicated one. With the pin on f2 broken, I think I can play g4 next turn if they just move their queen away, depending where they go. Okay, so they went to safety but did not break the pin. Alright, I will play g4, or did not give up pressure along the diagonal. Play g4. If rook f5, I guess I have to play queen c5, but I think I can get away with it. Take. My idea is bishop d5, maybe coming to e4, and also hitting a5. Play c4 or b3 to save my pawn. Gotta play quick though. Why am I taking so long? Alright, rook a5. I have rook c8 sometimes. So let's play c4. My rook on f2 defends. I'm too slow. Rook e7, rook f5, I didn't know what I was doing next. So they should play a rook e8 check, maybe. My king gets in first. I think this is now winning for me. They've really bungled this one. Did I bungle it back? Not sure. No, I don't think so. I have the I have my king 2 in front of the pawn. 2 in front is a win. Whichever way they go, I go the other way, outflanking. And I get a queen. Just making moves that I know. Push them back. Yeah, I'm trying not to give squares. Alright, let's play one more. I think that's 2 for 4, but I totally lost count. I thought I had a nice position out of the opening, then they complicated and I had no idea what was going on. And I ended up in a worse endgame that they blew by trying to win my b-pawn. I'm probably actually totally fine at that point because their king can't come over. So I guess I went into a equal endgame. d5's the move here, right? Like his Sveshnikov, but with knight f6 and knight c3 not inserted. What's most precise? I feel like I should have something that just wins on the spot, like queen takes d5, ed5, knight b4, but then they have knight e3, and they keep c2 defended. So then I was thinking bishop f5, queen d8, rook d8, ef5, knight b4, they have knight a3, and knight d4, they have bishop d3. So... Huh. I feel there's a win here. Or at least something leading to just a very clear advantage. There's also queen d5, ed5, bishop f5, dc6. I think that's good, but I think there's better. And now I'm just going to be so far down on the clock. So frustrating. Okay, let's just go for something I'm pretty sure gives a nice position. Okay. I think their pawn weakness is greater than mine. I'm going to go for it immediately. Don't really know where to put the pawn. Go to d7 with the king. No, I'm totally lost the thread and behind on the clock. Okay. Let's expand. Play as if I'm better. Don't want to hang anything, so e7. Don't want to hang a knight e6 check or a knight b7 fork. Okay, knight b4. Maybe swing around this way. And then hit the pawn, I guess. I'm going to play rook d8 so that if I take and they take back at the end, I'm hitting d3. King f6 I think is fine. Maybe try to set up f4. They want f4. I don't know if they should because I have knight e2. I don't have knight e2. Okay. What if I grab pawns? What if I'm a pawn grubber? Knight e4 check. Oh no, you're just trapping my knight? Oh boy. Avoiding rook c6 being with check, but... Alright, I think my knight's out. That's something. Let's take knight. Threat knight d4. Probably helpmating myself here. I am helpmating myself here. Ugh, terrible. Alright, that was a bad set of games today. Alright, hope you enjoyed. Cheers.